In this tribute video, we honor the American legends who have passed away today and in recent days. Welcome back to Movie Newscast. These remarkable individuals made lasting contributions to their fields, and we sadly say goodbye to them. Our heartfelt condolences go out to their families and fans. As we remember their legacies, we invite you to show your support by giving this video a thumbs up if their lives or work have touched you in any way. Your gesture is a sign of respect and remembrance. Firstly, Prince's dancer, singer Cat Glover, dead at 60, best known for her work with Prince during his 1980s pop rock heyday, has died. Glover's passing was made public Tuesday on her Facebook page. It's with great sadness that we formally announce the passing of Catherine Vernis Glover, aka Cat. Please allow her children, family, and friends privacy at this difficult time. A cause of death was not disclosed. Glover was a singer, dancer, and choreographer who will be forever linked to Prince, who died of an accidental fentanyl overdose in 2016. The two collaborated on several major albums, Lovesexy and his iconic Sign o' the Times. Together, they also created music videos, concert films, and tours. Cat was also credited with coming up with the rap for Prince's hit song, Alphabet Street. But Cat was partial to Prince because of her love for Dirty Mind, and she ultimately went along for the ride with him. Cat was 60. Rest in peace. Jazz saxophonist and composer Benny Golson dies at 95. Jazz great Benny Golson, a tenor saxophonist and composer of standards such as Killer Joe and Along Came Betty, has died. He was 95. Golson died Saturday at his home in Manhattan after a short illness, said Golson's longtime agent, Jason Franklin. Over his 7-decade musical career, Golson worked with some of the biggest luminaries in jazz, including Dizzy Gillespie, Lionel Hampton, and John Coltrane. He built much of his reputation not as a performer, but from his compositions, which also included I Remember Clifford, written in 1956 after trumpeter Clifford Brown, a friend, died in a car crash at age 25. Actor and musician Steve Martin recalled the film scene in a post on X on Sunday and said, "Thanks for all of the great music." With Golson's death, Sonny Rollins is the last living subject of the photo who was an adult when it was taken. Golson's survivors include his wife, Bobby Golson, daughter Brielle Golson, and several grandchildren. 3 sons preceded him in death. Eduardo Sol, a designer on Extreme Makeover, Home Edition, has died. He was 58. The Vol, a resident of Palm Springs, California, died at the Desert Regional Medical Center on September 20, according to the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, following injuries from a reported stabbing on September 10. We are heartbroken at the tragic loss of our beloved Eduardo Sol. As his family, we know that his kindness has touched the lives of so many, Sol's family said in a statement to Deadline. We ask for that kindness returned now, allowing our privacy to be respected as we process our grief. In lieu of flowers, we ask that donations be made in Eduardo's name to the Lupus Foundation of America, as he spent so much of his life in the service of others. TMZ reports that the Palm Springs Police Department discovered Sol with significant injuries following a reported stabbing. Authorities say Sol was in serious but stable condition when he was hospitalized. The publication notes that Richard Joseph Gonzalez has since been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder in connection to the incident. Courtney Coleman dies. CFO of lay-based studio Happy Accidents was 58. Courtney Coleman, a 30-year entertainment finance executive who most recently was CFO of film and TV studio Happy Accidents, has died. She was 58. The company confirmed the news to Deadline, but did not provide a cause of death, which it said was unexpected. She died August 12, according to a Toronto mortuary. Coleman was based in the Toronto office of Happy Accidents, which opened this summer after co-founders/CEOs Holly A. Hines and Eric Jarboe launched the studio with a Los Angeles office in April. She was responsible for the financial and tax oversight of its film and TV productions, corporate strategic planning, accounting, finance, budgeting, and forecasting. Born on July 29, 1966 in Toronto, graduated from the University of Toronto with a bachelor's in commerce and was recruited by Ernst & Young, becoming a chartered accountant in 1992. She was a citizen of the US, UK, and Canada. Coleman is survived by her children Patrick and Sophie. If desired, donations in her name can be made to the World Wildlife Fund or the American Association of University Women. Rocky Moran Sr. passes away. 1993 Rolex 24 at Daytona winner passes away at age of 74. Former Rolex 24 at Daytona race winner and Can-Am and IMSA veteran Rocky Moran Sr. has passed away following a battle with cancer at the age of 74. Moran, who was a mainstay in the North American sports car racing scene through the late 1970s until early 1990s, won the 1993 Rolex 24 in an All-American Racers Toyota Eagle MVE alongside P.G. Jones and Mark Dismore. In addition to his sports car racing exploits, Moran was also known in the open-wheel ranks, having made 3 starts in the Indianapolis 500. His son, Rocky Moran Jr., competed in both the Grand Am Rolex Sports Car Series and American Le Mans Series following his father's retirement from racing. Pop star and Nashville music publisher Jimmy Gilmer passes. Jimmy Gilmer, remembered by oldies fans as the singer of 1963's Sugar Shack and known as a prominent song publisher on Music Row, died on Saturday, September 7, at age 83. Gilmer died in Amarillo, Texas while in hospice care. He had reportedly been suffering from Alzheimer's disease for 2 years. Born in Chicago in 1940, but raised in Amarillo, Jimmy Gilmer became a session vocalist at Norman Petty's studio in Clovis, New Mexico in 1959. The studio was the recording home of such hitmakers as Buddy Knox, Roy Orbison, and Buddy Holly. A local rock group called the Fireballs came to Petty's place to record its top 40 instrumental hits Torquay, 1959, Bulldog, 1960, and Quite a Party, 1961. The band's membership changed in 1962, and Gilmer came on board as the Fireballs vocalist. In 1989-91, he served as the president of the Nashville chapter of the Recording Academy. He was a 1992 graduate of leadership music. Jimmy Gilmer retired in 2007, but continued to perform occasionally at oldies shows. Funeral arrangements have not been announced. Outlaws guitarist Freddie Salem has died, his band confirmed on Monday. He was 70. The band shared a post to Facebook confirming that Salem died from complications due to cancer. Salem will be remembered for his outgoing personality and passion for music, they wrote in part. He was an electric performer and beloved musician, and he will be missed, the statement concluded. The group also posted a picture of Salem rocking out on stage to their Instagram story, adding, "Rest in peace, Freddie Salem." Salem began his time with the rock band in 1977 on their album, Bring It Back Alive, when he replaced original guitarist Henry Paul. He continued playing with the group for their next 4 albums. Salem went on to record a solo album called Cat Dance with the band The Wildcats in 1982. The musician also had a brief touring stint with the Rolling Stones that he called incomparable. Author and writing teacher Tom Spanbauer dies at 78. Tom Spanbauer, a prominent Portland author who mentored many local writers on dangerous writing, died on September 21. Spanbauer had been ill with Parkinson's disease for about 8 years, and the cause of death was heart failure, according to his longtime partner Sage Ritchie. He was 78. According to his publisher Hawthorne Books, Spanbauer grew up on a farm near Pocatello, Idaho. After living in New Hampshire, Vermont, and Florida, and serving for 2 years in the Peace Corps in Kenya. He settled in Portland in 1991. He had an MFA in fiction from Columbia University, which he earned while waiting tables and being the superintendent of 5 buildings on East 5th Street in New York City. Author Chuck Palahniuk announced Spanbauer's death in his newsletter, crediting Spanbauer as the writer who taught me and many, many people the style of minimalism. Ritchie says there will be no formal funeral service at Spanbauer's request. Melvin Stukes, former Maryland delegate and Baltimore City councilman, dies at 76. Melvin Stukes, the former Baltimore City councilman and member of the Maryland House of Delegates, died peacefully at his home in Pikesville on Saturday, September 21. Stukes was 76 years old. Born March 15, 1948, Stukes was known for his work in the community and the church. He married his companion of 16 years, Catherine D. Ford Stukes, a retired principal, on December 31, 2022. Because he heard God's call to him, he willingly made his transition with a smile on his face, said Mrs. Stukes. It was an honor and privilege to be a part of his life for 16 years. Melvin followed the footsteps that God provided for him. He will be missed by all his family and friends. Working together works was his theme, she said. Former Baltimore City Mayor Kurt Schmoke, now president of the University of Baltimore, also recalled Stukes' famous words. Catherine Crosby, actor and widow of Bing Crosby, dies at 90. Catherine Crosby, the actor, singer, and widow of Bing Crosby, died Friday evening of natural causes at her home in Hillsborough, Calif. She was 90. A representative for the Crosby family announced the news. Crosby starred in more than 20 films over the course of her career, including The Wild Party, 1956, Operation Mad Ball, 1957, The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, 1958, and Anatomy of a Murder, 1959. She typically performed under the stage names Catherine Grant and Catherine Grandstaff. Crosby appeared frequently on her husband Bing's Merry Old Christmas specials and hosted The Catherine Crosby Show, a 30-minute talk show based in San Francisco. Following the death of the famed singer and actor at the age of 74 in 1977, she performed in several stage productions such as the 1996 Broadway revival of State Fair. She also hosted the charitable Crosby National Golf Tournament in Bermuda Run, NC, for many years. Crosby is survived by her 3 children, Harry, Mary, and Nathaniel, as well as several grandchildren. Former whodiedtoday editor, who wrote book about walking 330 miles from D.C. to NYC, dies at 65. In March 2021, Neil King Jr. set off on an incredible 330-mile journey, which he chronicled in his 2023 book, American Ramble. A journalist who inspired many with his 330-mile walk from Washington, D.C. to New York City has died. He was 65. Neil King Jr., a former global economics editor for the Wall Street Journal, died on Tuesday, September 17, from complications related to esophageal cancer, his wife, Shayla Murray, told the Washington Post. King, who got a bachelor's degree in philosophy from Columbia University before graduating from Northwestern's Medill Graduate School of Journalism, moved to Prague in 1992 as a freelance correspondent, according to his whodiedtoday bio. While abroad, King also began working for the newspaper, where he had a number of roles over the years, and as the Post noted, he contributed to whodiedtoday's Pulitzer Prize-winning coverage of the September 11 terrorist attacks. He left the paper in 2016. In March 2021, he set off on an incredible 330-mile journey, which he chronicled in his 2023 book, American Ramble. According to his website, the trip began as a whim and soon became an obsession, and by the spring of 2021, events had intervened that gave his desire greater urgency. In addition to his wife, King is survived by their 2 daughters, Lillian and Frances. Joe Schmidt, who helped Detroit Lions to 2 NFL championships, dies aged 92. Joe Schmidt, the Hall of Fame linebacker who helped the Detroit Lions win NFL championships in 1953 and 1957 and later coached the team, has died. He was 92. The Lions said family informed the team Schmidt died Wednesday. A cause of death was not provided. Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes is looking to guide the Chiefs to the first run of 3 straight NFL titles in the Super Bowl era. An NFL three-peat should be impossible. But with Patrick Mahomes, there is no such thing. One of pro football's first great middle linebackers, Schmidt played his entire NFL career with the Lions from 1953 through 1965. An 8-time All-Pro, he was enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1973 and the college football version in 2000. Schmidt became an assistant coach after wrapping up his career as a player. He was Detroit's head coach from 1967 through 1972, going 43-35-7. Schmidt was part of the NFL's all-time team revealed in 2019 to celebrate the league's centennial season. Of course, he'd gone into the Hall of Fame 46 years earlier. Peter Renaday, voice of Master Splinter on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, dies at 89. His friends and former co-workers, including Townsend Coleman, Cam Clark, Sam Quasman, and Ike Eisenman, spoke out about his death on social media. Peter Renaday, the voice actor best known as Master Splinter on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is dead. He was 89. The Burbank Police Department tells whodiedtoday that officers did a welfare check at his home at approximately 10:20 p.m. on Sunday, September 8, and found him on the floor inside the residence. Burbank paramedics pronounced him deceased. There were no signs of trauma or foul play. The death appears natural and will not be handled by the medical examiner, the department said in a statement. His death was also confirmed to whodiedtoday by his agent. His friends and former co-workers, including Townsend Coleman, Cam Clark, Sam Quasman, and Ike Eisenman, spoke out about the news on social media. In addition to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Renaday is also known for lending his voice to the $1 Million Duck, Lieutenant Robin Crusoe, USN, The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, and The Cat from Outer Space. Additional credits include Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Real Ghostbusters, Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, The Transformers, and Batman, the animated series per Deadline. Ringo Starr, former drummer for the Beatles, has been forced to cancel the final dates of his U.S. tour after falling ill, leaving fans in Philadelphia and New York City disappointed as they await news of his recovery. Ringo Starr and his all-star band were scheduled to perform in Philadelphia on September 24 and in New York City on September 25. However, due to a cold, the legendary musician was advised by his doctor to cancel these remaining tour dates. Subsequently, fans and netizens quickly took to social media to express their worry. The musician has been touring across North America since the fall leg of his 2024 tour kicked off in San Diego on September 7. The tour had planned stops across the U.S., with the final shows scheduled for the East Coast. However, just hours before his performance in Philadelphia, Starr's team announced that the remaining dates of the tour would be canceled due to his illness. Ringo has come down with a cold, and after consulting a doctor, he was advised to cancel these 2 remaining shows and get rest, the official statement. The announcement also explained that ticket holders for the canceled performances at TD Pavilion in Philadelphia and Radio City Music Hall in New York would be refunded automatically, or they could contact their point of purchase for assistance. Starr's signature message of peace and love was included at the end of the announcement. This sudden cancellation marked the end of what had otherwise been a successful tour. Starr and the All-Star Band began performing earlier in the year, with shows on the West Coast and in Mexico, as well as a residency at the Venetian in Las Vegas. News of the canceled shows came as a disappointment to many fans, some of whom were just moments away from seeing the drummer perform live. One fan voiced their sadness on Instagram, writing, "I'm gonna cry. 4 hours before the show is diabolical sick." While another echoed, "I was really looking forward to tonight's show, but I hope Ringo has a quick recovery, sick." Many fans expressed their support and wished him a speedy recovery. One netizen shared, "I'm sad we don't get to see him tonight, but first and foremost, we just want him to be healthy and happy. Get well soon, Ringo sick." Another wrote, "Take care of yourself, Ringo. Listen to the doctors. You are precious to us and need to be around for a long time, sick." One netizen added, "Oh Ringo, please get well soon. I was about to get ready and drive to your show. This would have been my first concert to see a Beatle, and I'm 61 years old. It would have been worth the long drive. However, the concert is not as important as your health. Thank you for following doctor's orders. Love you forever, Ringo." These heartfelt messages highlight the strong bond Starr has maintained with his fans, many of whom have followed his career for decades. Born on July 7, 1940 in Liverpool, England, the musician rose to fame as the drummer for the Beatles. He became known for his steady rhythms and charismatic personality. His contributions, including lead vocals on tracks like "With a Little Help from My Friends" and "Yellow Submarine," cemented his place in music history. Starr joined the Beatles in 1962, replacing Pete Best just before the band achieved global stardom. After the group disbanded in 1970, he launched a successful solo career, releasing hits like "It Don't Come Easy" and "Back Off Boogaloo." His 1973 album Ringo produced singles such as "Photograph" and "You're 16, You're Beautiful and You're Mine." Recognized for his contributions, Starr has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, once as a Beatle and again as a solo artist. In 1989, he formed the All-Star Band, which featured a rotating lineup of musicians that has toured successfully for decades.